Celia, will you make a note of that for my self-review? Very generous.
Noted.
But not so generous I can't drive a good bargain. Now, who sent you? Rizzo's, perhaps? Or Auntie Cleo herself? What a charming notion. One doesn't meet many free spirits in Halcyon. Not... Forgive me, I'd be positively enraptured. Only, I take it this means you aren't here for some... Oh, a shame. I'd been saving a bottle of...
Seems like you're having a rough time, Mr. Sanjar. Are you doing quite...
Oh, don't worry on my account. This is merely the latest in a long line of professional erotic and athletic disappointments. I had hoped that livening up our advertisements with enticing figures would draw the other corporations back to our bosom, but it seems we're back to the drawing board. Surviving alone isn't as easy as it looks. Thanks to the so-called hazard clause, Monarch has been cut off from the board's resources and protection for 10 years now.
So-called is right. We've got our hazards, but we're still here, damn it. The board took off without so much as a thought for the folks left behind.
I don't... Dang it, Captain, that's not right. Folks on Monarch shouldn't have to suffer just because the board says so.
Now, we've kept ourselves in business by trading with individual corporations, but given the off-the-books nature of those transactions, such arrangements are precarious.
I can tell your iconoclast friends have left their mark on you.
Freedom always sounds nice, doesn't it? It makes a rather pretty slogan. But if you sit down and tally up the costs, how you provide for yourself in the absence of aid, how you protect yourself from a hostile galaxy, it...
Indeed. Mr. Nandi here has a rather ingenious plan to get MSI...
On our terms, mind you.
But will that help the people here, Mr. Sanjar?
That's precise.
And if our advertising scheme hasn't borne fruit, then perhaps it's time we took matters...
It's a two-pronged approach. The first part involves seeing Stellar Bay properly defended.
And a Mantisaur problem.
Many, many problems, but they can all be solved with a Bolt 52 cartridge. If you can get us what we need to rejoin the board, starting the Bolt 52, we'll be able to become one of the most productive and secure cities in Halcyon.
And you'll have a powerful ally on the board.
Oh, yes. I'm going to be up all night with this. All those blanks waiting to be filled, boxes waiting to be ticked.
Try to control yourself, sir.
Have you any idea how powerful this is? Corporations have been toppled with less. What a question! Bureaucratic micromanagement is the only way anything gets done in Halcyon. And proper... For our part, a bill of liquidation/transfer Form 52 will protect our holdings on Monarch by temporarily assigning them to a pass-through entity once we drop our bomb on the board. See, that doesn't even make sense. This is an electronic form. We don't need paper.
Hardly the point.
I have reason to believe that one of the other corporations is operating on...
Those bastards. Leave us to our perils, then come back just to reap what they can.
If we can find proof, I can use that as leverage to encourage certain powers that be to accept our Bolt 52 and reinstate us on the board. If someone is operating here, then Catherine's almost certainly supplying them out of Fallbrook. Perhaps she could be convinced to tell you where they are. Already? If only the rest of the colony operated as... I'll complete the Bolt 52 in no time. I dare say...
You're getting ahead of...
So I am. I'm working on a plan to reorganize the board. Slowly, peacefully, and with meticulous documentation.
What's gonna happen to the people here when...
Well, by that point,
I'm just... Maybe I'm worrying too much, but it seems the folks here get plans made for them an awful lot. When do they get...
Once MSI is restored, the people of Monarch will be able to make more choices. We'll have all... But truly, I am getting ahead of myself. I knew there was something going on. This is exactly the proof we need. The board will have to welcome. I'll transmit this data along with the completed Bolt 52 right away. After that, we'll sit back and quietly wait for the board to respond.
That means no more broadcast.
This has been my Albert. I give MSI everything. One of the exec... I thought volunteering to donate might improve my prospect. Apparently not. In charge of a scrap heap of a city. Abandoned by the board and surviving only through the hypocrisy of our trading partners. Please, I can't think about this right now. Celia, schedule 30 minutes of in-consult...
I'll pad it out with an extra 15, sir.
Now. I see. And was his Well, that's excellent. What else can... Then it's good that I keep such... Ah, so you've heard about our prior... I suppose you're right. Graham's always had a way with words. Strange as it may seem, I suspect he'd have quite the corporate career if he weren't so... Graham seemed like a reasonable man years ago. And we both agreed that MSI's treatment of... I thought reforms would be enough. I didn't realize you wanted to abolish the corporate system. I've asked myself the same thing many times, especially seeing as the legal mechanisms we employed were part of the board's own bylaws. Not intentionally, though that's technic. For many years, this planet was home to as many corporations as Terra 2. But back then, it was known as Terra 1. As you may have noticed...
That ain't fair. They didn't leave on account of the hazards. They left on account of their cowardice. The hazards just gave them a reason to put to paper.
Sharp as ever, Nyoka. And as the other corporations began to tally their losses, Our leadership at the time certainly wanted to, but there were others of us who saw an opportunity. The chance to improve working hours and conditions. Indeed. Anyway, we learned of a loophole in the corporate bylaws that would allow MSI to claim ownership of the entire planet once the other corporations pulled out, creating the perfect environment for us to enact these new reforms. That's what I thought. But the senior executives laughed in our face. Yes, some of us stayed behind, and as the most senior executive remaining, I ended up in charge of what was... I moved forward with our planned reforms, as well as our strategy to assume ownership of the planet. Yet not long after I renamed it Monarch, the other corporations dislodged us from the board and began an official campaign to paint us as law. I don't know. Everything we did was legal and above board. We followed their rules, and yet they still found reason. I do think there's something useful in a governing body like the board. Something that keeps us from anarchy, but I dearly... Why wouldn't anyone? They own nearly all the resources and infrastructure.
Yeah, that'd go a long way.
To be on the board is to be part of the colonial community, and being cut off means... Indeed, we've got to consider... If membership on the board can ease our hardships and provide us with opportunities, then... Besides, I'm hopeful that additional leverage on our part will allow... I've discovered it's much easier to negotiate from a position of power. And I don't mean to leave MSI or its people at a disadvantage. My hope is to maintain the reforms we've managed here, and who knows? Perhaps once we're restored, we could...
It's straight bullshit is what it is. A fabrication rich folks use to preserve their investments, by leaving a lot of people here to die slow.
Nyoka has the right of it. It's a legal provision that gives the board the authority to cordon off any planet or location that it deems dangerous.
But wait, what happens to the
I'm afraid the welfare of a few hundred people is too minor a figure into the board's risk assessments. I'm all for reasonable regulations, but the board hasn't demonstrated the kind of peril that justifies cordoning off an entire planet. Much as I hate to say it, the board's leader... What can I do?
Sure am glad the station's under control again. Means we get paid!
Bloodbath like that calls for a celebratory drink.
Thank the stars that mess is over and done with.
Do you hear that? It's the blessed sound of radio silence. Yes, indeed. I am back in... But before we get down to it...
We did what we could, as best we could. Shh.
I don't know how. The two are diametrically opposed and impossible to please. But it matters not how you fix my... I don't doubt that you are working with Phineas, but my contract specifies I relay any acquired information to the purchaser, and to the purchaser alone. However, to send the data, I will need your assistance in cycling the antenna's receiver so I can input the needed adjustments. You make it sound so scandalous. Phineas has been in hiding for the past 35 years. He got in touch with Nyoka first, who I used.
Now you hold on. I do not physically go between anyone but that of my choose. Oh, apologies. You meant, right. Yes, I braved the wilderness so you don't have to.
Precisely. I really ought to give you a raise. It's simple, truly. I merely need you to waltz outside and throw the lever to cycle. Someone has trust issues, though. Just step outside, flip the switch.
This is why I stopped helping out around here, you know. It's always throw this lever.
If that's really all, let's...
Terrific. I'll be here. Wait.
Testing 1, 2, check. Sweet stars. But that is a beautiful sound. Can you hear me? We are a go for broadcast. Oh, and I also dispatched Phineas his data. Impatient prick. Worse, I'm now indebted to him for it. Now I'll kindly thank you to get out of my tower. Look, I am well aware that at times I may have the tiniest iota of a prickly exterior. But, as Nyoka can attest,
Why, he told us to leave without flinging insults at our persons. What in the void blasted?
black holes. Did you see that? Looks like a UDL ship. Based on the gunnery attachments, I guess it's... Oh well, a pity for the crew. Hiram? Can you hear me? Did you see that? Architect saved me from swindlers and fools. Sanjar, what are you bloody do... Yes, Hiram. The good captain. The truth brings us together once more. Our salvation has come crashing through the stratosphere. Are you mad? That's a UDL gunship. You'd probably shoot your own toes off. I see you learned nothing while dealing with these buffoons. We could use the gunship's armaments to defend Stellar Bay, but we need its targeting module. Our message is so close to breaking free of this planet and spreading to the stars. Help us secure that module and we will save our colony. Listen, I don't care a single whit what you do, so long. Which means, get off my void damn channel!
Back for a rest? Space adventuring is tiring work.
Please up.
Arrived at Phineas's orbital lab. Remember that you are not.
Hello? Can you hear me? Does this work? Oh, damn it! Blast, that's loud.
You make it look so easy.
I'm just securing my ongoing experiments. And securing myself. Mind the mess. I haven't had a visitor since, in fact, I've never had a visitor.
I'd clap you on the shoulder if I weren't behind a wall of bulletproof glass. I don't know how you did it, but Hiram Blythe just sent me everything I needed. According to Hiram's message, Minister Clark has ordered a suspicious amount of dimethyl sulfoxide. It's almost as if he's hoarding the colony's remaining supply. Typical elitist, hoarding supplies during a time of scarcity. Once I have those chemicals, we can revive the Hope's colonists and put some decent people. So, good news. You're going to Byzantium and steal. Oh, I understand it must seem impossible to you. Infiltrate Byzantium, the crown jewel of the colony, steal a batch of rare chemicals from it. In order to do the impossible, you must first divide it into a... Ah, yes, the details. I'm not about to ask you to rampage through Byzantium trading bullets with the board's agents. We'll have to resort to subterfuge. Carmen Imagawa. She's my contact in Byzantium. Meet her at the docks. She'll have all the necessary intelligence you require. I'm giving you my old nav key to Byzantium. You'll need it to land in the Golden City. Remember, you're looking for dimethyl sulfoxide. Big green bubbling vessel with a warning label. I'll take as much as you can find. Something about being discontinued due to severe adverse reactions. It's fine. You'll be stealing the chemical. You can trust her if that's what you're asking. Imagawa is the finest special agent in Byzantium. Of course, of course. What's... Oh, it's not you. I do experiments in that room. Some of them get quite scientific. The unexpected is to be treasured, but from a safe distance. Regardless, it's quite comfortable in here, you know. I have my beans, have my caffeinoids, plenty of toilet paper. Absolutely. No, and I've been trying very hard to avoid...
Hey there. I'd shake your hand.
Wait, not another word. I don't want to know your name. I don't want to know who you are. Let's just enjoy our plausible deniability while it lasts, shall we? Why don't you just invite the entire colony to my secret, carefully concealed laboratory? It isn't as if I wanted privacy.
dangerous when I haven't had my caffeinoids. For what it's worth, I am pleased that you found. You're a talented scientist after all. Our kind has... That's odd. I'm at least 65% certain my tone was sufficiently sincere. Perhaps the glass is distorted. What's... Reviving you from hibernation was my greatest accomplishment. Your odds of survival were a mere 28%. Aha! I see you found my portable molecular compression device, better known as a shrink ray. Find a target, point, shoot. The target will shrink down into a manageable size, whereupon you may commence beating them to a pulp. Feel free to try it on a marauder sometime.